to Canna Vibes. You'll hear that again when we segue into the segment where I talk to somebody. I actually talked to somebody this time, guys. I'm good. Anyway, so I'm talking about cartel pins a little later, but I wanted to let you guys know that I hope you're having an awesome Sunday because I'm recording this part on Sunday. The other parts were recorded on Wednesday. But in my defense, when you see the video, you'll know why. It took some editing. I forgot my camera, this one, so I had to use the laptop camera. Um, and the audio and video are like this much off. So just pretend it's dubbed. Pretend we were talking a different language and then I dubbed it. Okay? I'm still learning. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit, not take up too much of your time because the interview's quite long. So, but I actually interviewed the OKC expungent lawyer, Travis Smith. He's actually also part owner of Smoky Yogi's dispensary. So you'll hear all about that a little later. But I wanted to start out with my 2 reviews because I do 2 reviews every episode. It's going to be my thing. And the first one is the Cartel oils. And you'll see their logo pop up somewhere, probably right here because there's no room over here. And I love these pins. Well, I love the cards, but the pin's pretty awesome too. I've had some pins and it has a really good drag to it. And it has a cool little, you'll see it better in the video. You also saw it on my Instagram because I can't be patient. Right now I'm smoking on Headbanger, which is a sativa. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not a major sativa fan, mostly because I smoke to relax, but basically, like in the couch relax. But this tastes amazing, tastes like oranges, and it actually helps me get a little perked up a little, better than my coffee. Obviously, you can see I'm a little more perked up in this episode than I was in the last one. You'll also, I also got another card. It was Girl Scout cookies. I love Girl Scout cookies. I love cookies. Food too. Anyway, so it was Girl Scout cookies, and let me tell you, that card is gone. It literally, I loved it. Smoked all of it in like 2 days. Very relaxing feeling, very indica-like. You'll see in the video that I turn the pin upside down so I can show you the bubble. Just so you know, the color is important. The darker it is, a little bit worried. Also, you don't want your oil to be moving around in here so much. I mean, if you have your pen like this for hours, then yeah. But if you're just doing this and this, there's a bubble in here, and you always want to find it. Usually, they all have one. You can see it whenever they put it in, and it's like an air bubble. And once you like flip it upside down, if the air bubble moves, you might have a little bit of hot tap water in there. I said it, but not with these pens. I love them. I will be buying some. I got to try these out. Shout out to the Cartel for letting me try them and giving me this awesome pin. But I will now be buying them because I love them. So now I'm addicted. Thank you. You'll see that segue here in a moment where you'll see the video and everything else. But definitely try these out. Also, I did a review on, or I got to sample some OK Craft Cannabis samples. They were awesome. I got to have Cantaloupe Kim and Tangy. So I've seen Jedi Dabs and a couple people talk about OK Craft Cannabis, and they are all right. It is amazing bud. Looks beautiful. Got some little buds, but you'll get to see them. And when it comes to the Cantaloupe Kim, smelled like fruit, like cantaloupe. And it had a very sweet, fruity taste. Had a very mellow high, but I do want to let everybody know that I smoke daily. I have a very high tolerance. So you might take this and get a very more relaxed high, but it was very good. I give it, I'm not doing stars on these, but if I did, I would give it very good stars. It smelled great, it looked great, it tasted great. The ash was white. But I do have to give the biggest shout out to Tangy. Oh, Tangy. Knocked me on my butt. I loved it. Very good smoke for the end of the day. Didn't taste as sweet as Cantaloupe Kim, but you trade that out for the entirely in the couch feeling, and there you have it. So that is the next pictures you'll see. So this segment you'll see, and then we're gonna go right into my interview with Travis. So I hope you guys all enjoy, and thank you for being super patient. By the way, this is Rain, and you can follow me at Canna Vibes OKC or Divine Independence, wherever I put them. Hope you guys all have an amazing evening. Okay, guys, welcome to Canna Vibes. This is the second episode, and we are so excited to have you here. We are here with Travis Smith. He is the OKC expungent lawyer.
I didn't even clean up my office for your episode. I have boxes of stuff behind you. Look at this.
We got stuff going on, or he's got stuff going on. All right, so we were both on time late for this, and so he's going to tell us what he was up to before he showed up here. So where were you at?
I was like cursing at myself. I was just getting frustrated and angry. Well, I got this grow project I was telling you about.
Mhm.
Just dealing with stuff not being delivered on time or not getting done on time, doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
The pains of growing. So, like, what is the thing that you're looking forward to the most when it comes to your dispensary and your grow? So his dispensary is going to be in Spencer, right?
The first location, yeah.
The first location, and so there's going to be many more, or more than one.
Hopefully.
And it is called Smoky Okies.
Yes.
Awesome. And we're excited about it. He's excited about it, and obviously a little frustrated because the process is taking a little bit longer. So when did you get started on the dispensary, like the construction process on it?
So basically, right before 788 went into effect, my cousin, who's my business partner, she had been working on this for a while, the idea and the concept. And, she had the idea. And as it got really close, that's when she started calling me and some other family members and basically saying, hey, I think this is going to go. We've got some plans lined up. Do you want to get in? Blah, blah. And it just kind of took off from there. Yeah. And so we started planning it, and then it passed. And then we just started putting together projections on what we thought the amount of capital we would need, like what is a location, and because we were in it for the grow. We want to do a cultivation facility. And so then we just started shopping where are the potential locations. Should we find a place out in the middle of nowhere and build it? Should we locate a building? And then, my input, just being a lawyer, I was like, well, you're going to have to deal with zoning. And also, the political entity who's governing is going to matter. It's going to be within city limits, outside city limits. Mm-hmm. And we ended up, and that it just kind of took off, and we've basically been working on this since June, July of last year, 2018. And so then we found a location. I would say probably in August we secured our location, worked a deal with the landlord, all that sort of stuff, and started pitching the idea to the local municipality. Hey, this is what we want to do. We want to bring a cultivation to your town. Mm-hmm. And they didn't know what to think. I mean, we went, and it was a whole, starting with calling the city manager, calling the code enforcement, and then, well, you should go talk to the planning commission. So we went through that whole, go in front of your planning commission, pitch the idea to them, get told, interesting. We'll put you on another docket or another hearing.
And rubbing their chin. Yeah, okay.
And that basically went on for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, going out every Thursday, every other Thursday, meet at the planning commission 1 week, the city council being told, go back to the planning commission, go to the economic development committee, go to the.
And was this all done in was this done here in Oklahoma City or in Spencer?
This was in Spencer.
Okay, so I have like this Spencer Small Guys. I don't know if you've been to Spencer, but I have this thought on like, were they the same people? Like, did you go to the same, like, did you run to the same?
Yes.
Okay,
A lot of the
did you start
committees.
bringing them coffee and donuts? Because I would. Hey, Mike, how's your day doing? I'm just here again for the same.
Well, I have absolutely nothing to say about that town. They're awesome. But
not that small's bad. I just wanted to let you guys know that it was kind of small.
Small is better, honestly, because you can get closer to the people making the decisions.
And one, you get to know, like, you'll be able to get to know your customer base or your patient base once they start coming into you.
Well, and where that dispensary is located is on a pretty busy thoroughfare.
Yeah.
So you've got multiple towns kind of crossing through commuter traffic. But yeah, I mean, as far as that part, we picked. They didn't know what to think of it, but by the time we went there to so many Thursday night meetings that they came to love us. They had nothing but good stuff to say about us. They totally overwhelmingly approved it. They were sort of like on the fence, should we draft our own ordinance? Mm-hmm. And then you had all these lawsuits that happened in October, and that sort of scared them and kind of delayed it a little bit more. But ultimately, they issued us a little permit, and we started getting to work.
So when are you guys looking to open or like a roundabout?
So if we started this in June, we got our permit from them in December, like actual permit, license to operate. Mm-hmm. And so we had already kind of had boots on the ground, cleaning up the place, demolition work, our goal is to harvest this July.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a goal. All right. Let's talk about the grow. So is the grow where the dispensary is? Or is it a different?
So we've got 12,000 square feet of grow space. We'll have 5 flower rooms, 1 veg room, and we have a small 600 square foot dispensary with a window peering into one of the flower rooms, so the consumer can kind of shop and be kind of looking at it.
Can I tell you that's my favorite dispensaries? I love being able to see. The only other one that I've seen so far that has that is Cali Roots. But like when you walk in and you have that window, so you can see what's going on and what they're doing. That's great. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And so. So that's it, What we were talking about, some of the headaches before was like, when we went that big and when we put together, like we were talking about putting together budgets and plans, and it was like, I was just thinking from the frame of mind, like, can we afford this? What kind of capital do we need? Like, can the electrician's crew handle this scope of a job? And like, we get all those things, okay, we can do this. I didn't consider things like, can the infrastructure of the
handle the electricity?
And when we were told that we had to get OG&E to install a new transformer, and then we opened that can of worms. I mean, that is a completely separate electrical job. So you're already paying all this money to wire this whole building to hang hundreds upon hundreds of lights, which requires.
But the lights themselves are not anywhere near inexpensive. For the grow.
Oh yeah, I mean we got our initial batch of lights. We spent $40,000, and that was like a steal. But we found that on sale, for like 200,000 watt phantoms. And so, but yeah, when you have that, so I didn't consider that, you have to get it, you have to get the utility company to bump up the service. Mm-hmm. And then what does that entail? And then, so it's just one thing after another. It's a fun experience, but we're definitely learning as we go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then and he was telling me before, like when they talked to the electrician, the guy was like, we can absolutely do this, but you've got to do everything this first. So, and that's a lot when it comes to construction. But I mean, all the headaches are worth it once you get to that opening day and get to see how excited you guys are, everybody that was a part of making it happen.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to open, because everything's been pushed up, we're going to open April 20th.
Okay.
And then we're going to be supplying other people's product.
Awesome.
So we're going to hopefully make some friends, get some other product that we can share with the public.
Hello.
And yeah, absolutely. So if you've got product for sale, let me know. I would love to buy some.
Are you guys looking to do like the whole shebang with flour and concentrates and topicals and edibles?
Yeah, I mean, I want to do whatever the consumer wants.
Gotcha.
So I know that there's all kinds of people who are connoisseurs that are into products that really don't sell, or that really don't. And so that's fine. But and I'm not deep in this yet,
Mhm.
but sort of the feel that I'm getting from being around in the industry and with other business owners is that the top shelf stuff a lot of times stays on the top shelf, and the middle shelf and the bottom shelf flies off the shelf. So if the majority of consumers just want affordable cannabis, I want to be that supplier.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly,
you
when
know,
it comes from, you've got a majority of people that aren't used to paying these prices. And that's honesty. I'm not going to go much further into detail on that, but you're not used to paying these prices. So when you're going into a dispensary and you're paying $80 for an eighth, I think the most expensive one I've seen so far is $80 for an eighth, and that's 3.5 grams. And honestly, it should be $10 a gram. So when you're looking at $35 compared to $80, and you've got people that really haven't tried cannabis that much, they don't really have a high tolerance, so the middle shelf and the bottom shelf are really selling out because of that. So the
Yeah.
pricing wise, everything. But if you had somebody, or if you came in and you were affordable all the way around and not just with mids, because that's the problem too, is you've got a lot of dispensaries or a lot of people that are pushing product out there that is mid. It's a mid range. It's not a good product. It's product that didn't do too well growing, or they didn't cure it right, or something happened with it, and they're selling it at a great budget price, but it's not healthy for you. It's not good for you, and it's not the type of medicine that they're promoting it as. So I think catching that side where you're on the corner of happy and healthy,
Yeah.
where you're great, where you have a good price point, but you're still doing really great product, is really going to capture a market here that really hasn't been captured too well by a lot of the dispensaries that are here.
And it's hard, because my office is in Midtown, and I kind of live near the Plaza District, so I'm kind of in a hip area where stuff's expensive.
Mhm.
But this is not all of Oklahoma.
No.
And so, just the consumer that's in my little bubble is not all of the consumers. And so
No.
I'm sort of surrounded by, when I like read the Gazette, and that's fine, but there's different markets. And so, this Midtown market is just one type of market. And if everybody wants to brag about having super top shelf stuff, I mean, that's fine. And I would love to carry that as well. I mean, I'm all about options.
Yeah.
I want to give, I think as a consumer, period, you want options, whether it's a cell phone plan or whatever, you want choices. You don't want just like this or that. You want like, give me a whole spectrum of stuff.
Exactly. Well, and when you think about medicine in general, so when you go to a pharmacy, there's so much different medicine that you can take for things. I mean, and that's just over the counter, and then you have your specialty from the doctor.
Yeah.
So when you go into a dispensary and you're thinking of, I need this for my medicine, then you don't want to just go to a dispensary that's just selling flour, because you might not be somebody that benefits off of flour, or you might not be somebody that benefits off of concentrate. Or I've actually just read somewhere, because I've been having problems with edibles. Edibles don't really hit me that well. I mean, they don't hit me at all, honestly, guys. Sorry. But edibles are not. I've tried them in Colorado.
Like what kind of dosages?
Oh, we're talking anywhere from 50 milligrams to 300.
You don't feel anything at all.
Not really.
See, people like you blow me away. Like
Well,
when I hear these accounts.
I read it. So now it's not even, they did a study on it, and there's a liver enzyme. It's a liver enzyme that some people have where it just doesn't get digested the same when you eat it. So I'm really hoping that's not it, and I just haven't had like over the top. Yeah.
I don't believe that's the case.
But I went to Colorado, and we went for vacation, and I remember it was in 2016, so of course we had to go to Colorado to have edibles, and it was my birthday, and we spent all day. We had like a whole picture of the table. It was full of edibles, and I'm just like, right, I'm gonna eat these, and I was so scared I was gonna have one of those accounts that people are like crying in the corner kind of thing. No, I think I went to sleep at some point, but it wasn't like a drug-induced sleep. It wasn't like NyQuil or.
So edibles aren't your thing. That's really, I mean, that's nice to hear, because I've always heard the opposite, and I know my own experience. Like my criticism of the processing is that there is no variety. It's not. I mean, it's just nothing but 50 milligram cookies, and then they'll be like, check out this 100 milligram thing. And like my opinion is, like, what I would like to do is supply products that are like microdosing for the people that do want to try them. Like
microdosing is huge anyway in itself, so that's a big thing.
With any kind of substance or what?
I mean, microdosing obviously in cannabis, but I mean, people have done it a lot with acid too lately. But
I was thinking
mushrooms.
mushrooms, but yeah, like I mean, I think 50 milligrams is a ton, and I don't know. I mean, I think that would you agree? You're the exception. People with like you.
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to people about edibles, what I do is, especially when I try them, I try them for taste. Obviously, I want to tell people because I don't care who you are. If you like weed taste in your food, you've got a problem. I'm sorry. I can't. I've tried weed brownies, but um, I try it for taste and then I just let them know, if you're starting out, everybody's different. And especially with anything, not even just with
Yeah.
edibles, with flour, anything.
Yeah.
Every strain hits you different. Your endocannabinoid system is not the same as mine. And so when I talk to people, I let them know I'm a heavy smoker. I smoke daily. I smoke more than once a day. I
But
smoke.
even being a heavy smoker is not the same as edible. I mean,
No,
those are
it's
two
not,
totally
and that's what I'm
different.
saying too. Like even
Yeah.
tincture wise, so I always let people know that you always start out small, no matter what it is. If you
Totally.
don't take edibles and you get a 50 milligram cookie, do not eat that
Don't eat-
entire cookie. Like
Don't
why?
eat half of it.
No,
You know?
just have a couple bites. Give it 30, 45 minutes. If you're really not feeling anything, have another couple bites.
Yeah.
You might have wasted an entire cookie if you don't end up feeling anything, but you will thank me when you're not throwing up or the world isn't spinning.
Well, look at it this way. It's easy to find out the answers to these questions. Are they selling?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but give us your feedback.
Yeah.
Are these 50 milligram cookies selling? Because I don't think that they're flying off the shelf. I think that those are the lower sellers. I could be wrong, but that's sort of my suspicion. And what I'd like to see are more products that are like 10, 5, and 2.5 milligrams. That way you could like pop them and then pop another one and then pop another one.
Well, and children. Like, I mean, there's a lot of children that have gotten this, like caregivers have gotten
Yeah.
their, the minor patients and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to give a minor 50 milligram cookie to.
Well, so I think when you're dealing with children, that's a whole different sort of product.
Well, yeah, but
Niche market. I think you really need to be a specialist that's like, and maybe we'll see brands like that come along.
let's talk about that now. Where are you guys going for your children? Like, because to be honest, I don't see any marketing towards children. I've seen one dispensary where they give a discount for minors.
Yeah.
And I think that's Strange Leaf. I think. Please don't hold me to that.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any marketing to minors, and I don't mean that they should be out marketing to them, but I don't see, like, I've been in multiple
Marketing to
dispensaries at
parents,
this point, and I've not seen people in there asking about it. I haven't seen, you know what I mean? I would like to know what the struggle is.
Honestly, I'll tell you. I mean, if I just had to guess, that would tell me that there's just so few of those types of consumers.
Well, and a lot of them moved. A lot of them have moved to Colorado, and that
Yeah.
would be a bigger thing. I was waiting to see the rush to come back, maybe, but I guess
Yeah.
once you're already settled somewhere and you have the
Yeah.
medicine you need.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running a business, you're going off of the feedback that you're getting. So if
Mhm.
people are not requesting a certain type of product, then
You wouldn't be ordering it.
But I don't know. You can see a lot of this stuff. I'm premature. I can't comment on so much of this because we haven't opened yet and really experienced this.
But it's good to open up the discussion.
Oh, totally.
And
totally.
it would be good, like, whenever you come back on the show, once you're open and everything, you'll be
Yeah.
able to revisit and be like, oh yeah, I remember this. I totally got an answer for that one now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all a new space, and I think that's something that everybody needs to think about, like especially when they're criticizing or when they're getting on other people, is just that everybody's learning right now. And there's a difference between learning and learning at the expense of your patients. So you have to know what you're doing to some extent, because this is something that somebody's eating. I mean, like the food permit that you have to have now. So I saw a lot of dispensaries weren't too happy about that because it's extra money. However, if I were to go into a restaurant and order something and they didn't have a food permit, they didn't have anything that told me that the health department said this was okay to eat, you have to understand some of these edibles are being made in people's kitchens. Yeah. And you don't know what's in their house. And I'm not saying people have bad houses, but pets, animals, peanut allergies. You get something and it says this was made around peanuts. You don't know if your fudge brownie was made around the chocolate chip cookie peanut butter thing.
Totally.
Whatever. But so that to me, it's extra money, and that sucks whenever you're growing an industry. But in the same token, you have to look out for the patients too. And if it's not actively being done, then the government is going to step in and do that. But
that's the Unity bill that you were saying you didn't like about it.
Okay, so the Unity bill is basically undoing 788. It's basically putting the power and options back into the hands of the people that told us we couldn't smoke, we couldn't have flour. So it's going to take over advertising, packaging, everything. And I remember seeing something at one point where they wanted packaging to be completely just lettering, no colors, no anything that would attract a child. And I'm going to be really frank right now. I have been in Walmart lately, and Not Your Father's root beer is chilling right here, and that is an alcoholic root beer. So you can't tell me kids have not walked by it and been like, oh, can I have root beer? You know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid, there was candy cigarettes. There's always, if
it's not for your children.
no, they're not coming in the dispensary. They're not.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then of course, that's where they would hit you with advertising because advertising wise. But I mean, I see Budweiser.
But that's in the Unity bill. I thought that was something separate.
That right there
This
is
so
that's
pathetic
separate.
how
But
I'm so
I
uneducated on this.
that's separate. But that was a Congress, like a law, like somebody, whoever created that bill had nothing to do with SQ 788. But I just mean the reason I brought that up was because Unity bill covers part of advertising and things like that, and I feel like that's what they're trying to push to. Is they're basically taking it and saying, to me, I see it as stomping their feet and acting like toddlers and like, well, since you guys just had to have this, we're going to decide every single thing, and that's just that's
the Unity bill has passed, and I've got to print it off.
It passed the.
Oh, it hasn't passed. Gotcha. In the House.
Yes, and now it's going. It's supposed to be Thursday, I think, but it might be pushed. But yeah.
What's the one? See, I'm concerned about the stuff where they want to create like these new industries and new industry monopolies, like this whole you have to have a license to dispose, and we're going to issue 10 disposal licenses. I mean, it's like creates a completely crony industry for some waste company. We're talking about seeds and stems here.
Does anybody else not find that odd? They do that after, because a lot of states, not a lot of states, some states when they had their medical come in, they made it to where only certain people got licenses, or they had it where you had to do certain things, only a certain amount of people or certain people got licenses.
I think that's terrible. Those are the worst
that
states.
Was right.
Yeah.
But don't you guys all find it odd that we were the state that didn't do that, and now they're coming out with, like you said, well, we're only going to give 15 of you guys this disposal license, so only 15 of you can actually make this, even though you paid us, although 300 of you paid us for it.
Well, then there's like this new industry of garbage men that we've got to hire, and we're like not really exposing toxic waste here. We're talking
this isn't blood, guys.
We're talking about like water off a plant, and so yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm just like, I hate it. I don't like it. But other than that, I for the most part, I have nothing but good things to say about Oklahoma. I mean, I love it. We have, at least originally, that SQ 788 is the most laissez-faire sort of version of.
Oh, we made news
of medical, and I think that's how it should be. And we'll police ourselves, and the customers are going to police us.
Mm-hmm. And it happens.
So
it happens a lot. I mean,
like whether testing is mandatory or not, like we're going to do it. And most of the growers that I'm in discussions with for buying product from, they're doing it.
Well,
and so and if somebody doesn't want to test, I mean, it's fine. I don't know who.
Well, and like you said, though, the customer will. I know. I mean, I don't. We have made it to where we don't buy if it's not tested. Because I don't, I mean, you know what I mean? Once you get stuff that's tested, it's a whole peace of mind thing, and you can actually taste the difference, but it's definitely, the customer will decide that. If they never came out and said we had to test for marijuana, I more than could guarantee at some point
85% of the economy would do it anyway.
Yes, they wouldn't go into dispensaries that don't test. I mean, unless they drop their pricing, and then that would be a whole nother thing. That'd be like the difference between or like but
it's always on the consumer to be somewhat educated to an extent, to the extent that we can't, there's some things that you can be completely educated on the product and you can't control if it has, E. coli from the way it was handled. So obviously regulation is supposed to solve those sort of problems, but solving the problem of choice, I mean, that's kind of on us.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, it helps to know what you're looking at too. So when you go in and you're trying to buy concentrate or you're buying shatter and it's dark as mud, somebody who's never had shatter before and never had wax before doesn't know that's not what it's supposed to look like. So they're going to buy that. And it's on that dispensary for doing that.
See, I think that's on the industry. I think I have some opinions on this. I think that the industry needs to realize that 90% of your customers are going to be like first-time users, or you need to. It's kind of like this in really any industry. Okay, whether you're talking about sports supplements or whatever, your industry is pretty much built off of like first-time users. Like your elite black belt is not who you're selling to. You're selling to somebody who's thinking about jiu-jitsu. And like when you're talking about protein powders and things, you're not selling to, which is why you don't need these like pro hormones they used to have, like these sort of steroid type supplements. You're selling to people who are like beginners. And it's the same thing in this industry. And the connoisseurs and the people who are into like eating 200 milligram cookies or whatever, or dabbing,
trying to feel something,
or dabbing and all these sort of things. I mean, that's fine. I don't want those products to be illegal. I want them to be legal, but I want to see the industry offer choices, and those kind of be like on the top shelf in the corner and not what's really being offered to the consumer.
Well, and educational too. I mean, I feel like you can definitely see the ones that are just pushing the most expensive product. I mean,
Yeah.
the diamonds are big right now too. I mean, when you're talking $80 a gram, that's a expensive product.
Yeah.
And I can see that. I can see where you're having it on top shelf for different things. I mean, there's so many different things you can do now.
Oh, but it'll get figured out, and
And everybody has their favorite. Everybody has their favorite way.
Well, this is not
investing.
Vioxx.
No.
So no one's going to have a heart attack off this stuff. That's the thing, is that it's one of the safer products. So I think there is room for the industry and the community to grow with the ups and downs.
And do you know why
and
that
the aches
is?
and pains.
Do you know why you cannot overdose?
Why?
I just found
I
this
don't
out.
know.
It's
I
so
don't
exciting.
know.
I just found this
No.
out. Okay, so you're basically with your endocannabinoid system and what your endocannabinoid system does in your body, it doesn't control anything that is vital to your living. So breathing, heartbeat, like those things, it doesn't affect. So when you take copious amounts of marijuana, it's not affecting that. You do feel dizzy, you'll feel lightheaded, or like, you know what I mean? You'll get side effects. I'm not saying that, but that's why you don't overdose, because it doesn't affect the portions of your brain or your body that can completely kill you, like shut you down. And I was like, oh, that makes sense then. Definitely. Right? And that's something marijuana. I mean, you've got some people that love the smell. I don't. I mean,
You
it's
don't
not
like the
something
smell of good
I
weed?
don't like skunk eyes.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so there was this stuff my friend bought. I'm trying to think of where it came from. It was over on like 39th and Portland, and it was Purple Gorilla, and it has the most pungent like smell ever that I just like. And then you light it up, and it's like this skunk is like the best, most descriptive, like fitting word. Skunky. I mean, I was amazing. I was like, I want to find out where this came from and buy some clones, because I was like, I want to carry this. This is awesome. You don't like that?
I don't. It's crazy because they make candles, right? So they have like the cannabis candles too. I've seen those.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they do. THC. Anyway, but they're candles, and I'm just like, why would you want to smell that? But then I thought about it, and I was like, if you're a state where it's not legal, and then you have the cops or somebody's knocking on your door saying, "What's that smell?" You can light the candle and be like, obviously, it's my marijuana candle. Anyway, but my point is,
but you don't like the smell.
I don't. I mean, okay.
Turns you off. So you
It's not that it's not like it's. I don't smell it and go, oh my god, this smells fucking disgusting. I'm gonna edit that, but that smells disgusting. But my thing is that I'll smell it, and it's not. I'm not like other stoners or people that smoke where they smell it and they're like, oh, I need weed, or like where you're driving down the road and there's roadkill. Like
obviously an alien because you eat 200 milligram cookies and don't feel anything.
And I don't like the smell of loud skunks. So I don't know. But
so what do you like?
I like it when it has different notes in it. So if I don't like the hay smell, that's come in a few of the grams I've bought around town. And if your weed smells like hay, get rid of it. Don't sell it. What the hell? And I've actually, the worst experience I had was Northwest Expressway. Was a dispensary on Northwest Expressway, and I had bought an ounce of Big Bud, but it was not Big Bud. I don't know what it was. It was like 3 different types of
Big Bud
is a strain.
Okay.
And it was 3 different types of something else, and it wasn't curated. It was wet.
Okay.
And when I went back and told them, the lady said, "I'll let the owner know," and she was the owner.
All right.
So,
Well,
but
Sure. Where's that from?
oh, this is my buddy Sean. I went and visited him yesterday. He is actually the owner of Oklahoma
It's
Grown.
just a shrimp company.
Yeah, he's actually he
it.
just trademarked Oklahoma Grown like 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
So,
Good for him.
he's an artist and he sells shirts. Like yesterday he posted on his Instagram, was just like, "Hey, I made these shirts. Come get them." He did the artwork for the shirts for the Green Grow.
I like
so,
that.
Yeah.
I like stoner.
I'll
I'm
have
into
to come
like
by and get him one.
doom sludgy metal, and so that's like what that makes.
He has an art studio and visited, and I'll be doing a podcast there, so I'll have to get you a shirt.
Oh, at his studio.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And so he'll be painting, and then I'll be talking and painting. I'm gonna try to paint. We'll see how that works. But yeah, no, I might grab you a shirt while I'm there. We'll switch out because I'm supposed to be getting a Smoky Okies today.
Yes,
shirt,
I'll get you a shirt right now.
Awesome. And then we'll switch out, and I'll get him one of these.
And then anybody else who wants a shirt, come by my store on 4/20, April 20th. We'll get you a shirt with the purchase. April 20th at Smoky Okies. It's on 8467 Northeast 23rd, just outside of as you're heading into 23rd and Spencer
Well,
Road.
right now, is there a law against consumption on property?
Yeah.
Is there?
Well, on licensed property, not on a, I think it's a loophole. I think not on regular private property like a restaurant or something. I think you can smoke.
So if it's like a licensed dispensary?
Dispensaries, cultivators, processors, you cannot consume on property.
Okay, but like, what about
If you got an OMA license, you cannot consume the product there. Taste tested, anything.
I think a lot of you guys need to take note of that one. I don't start making fun of us.
Very down. I'm not even in this community at all enough yet. I haven't gone shopping to hardly. I'm just too busy focused on my own thing. So I'm excited. We should go on a shopping spree. I want to get out there. And
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So hit me up if you guys want to be a part of the shopping spree. We're gonna call it the Cannabis Crawl, 2019.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
And we'll get a driver because but yeah, let's do it. So we'll get a day and we'll get it down, and you guys let me know if you guys want to be on it because we'll be featured. We'll be buying product, but you'll be featured. Okay. But did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Thank you for having me on the show.
Awesome. And thank you for being the first guest on the show. That's a big one. We'll look back on this when I'm bigger, because I'm planning on it. When I'm bigger. And then I feel like, remember, you're my first guest? Maybe you might get like a gold plaque.
Yeah.
There we go.
You can find me at travischarlessmith.com.
And then we already shouted out your handles for Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, you don't have a website for your...
Smoky-okies.com.
You already have a website? You're already like leaps and bounds over like 80% of them that are already open.
I don't have a menu or anything like that.
No, I mean like literally there's quite a few of them that have no website at all.
Yeah.
Like when you click the link they have in their profile, it says 404 not found. Put the links out of your profiles. Why would you put that in there?
I don't have a lot of content on there yet.
Also, there is a guy going around buying a lot of domains, guys. I saw it today. Like he has lists of all these cannabis dispensaries. Like if your name if you don't have your name on a domain yet, you need to look for this guy because he probably has your business on a domain already.
Yep, gotta get on that. Gotta get on that website.
But all right, guys. Well, always remember that it's Canna Vibes and have a wonderful day.